Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have an encounter with beings from another planet? Maybe it would be a pleasant experience where you gain some knowledge. Or maybe it's a horrifying encounter. There are numerous tales of people being abducted around the world, especially nowadays. In this new series, we will explore first-hand accounts of individuals who claim to have been taken away taken away by otherworldly beings. From bizarre experiences aboard UFOs, a la Travis Walton, to unexplainable missing time. These encounters will both captivate and leave you questioning the very fabric of our reality.
Ooh.
So sit back, relax, get those tinfoil hats secured today as we dive into Abducted by Aliens, our new series.
Yes. We're going squatching.
We're going squatching, bitches. Welcome back, you sexy beasts, to Don't Touch My Sasquatch podcast. I am Josh.
I continue to be Lennon. I thought you were going to say
Joshua. I almost did. Yeah.
Yasua.
Yeah. So our new series. Yeah.
Little do you know is that every hat that I wear is lined with tin foil.
I knew this, though, but they didn't know that. You just gave away your secret.
Yeah. Always be planning ahead, folks. You know what I mean?
Every hat I have is lined with bacon. Yeah. Delicious. I love bacon.
It's my hat bacon.
Especially today, we're going to be heating up a storm here. It's going to be spicy today. It's going to be hot. And I get to start it off.
Sexual episode.
It kind of is. I don't know if yours is, but mine
is
David Huggins.
Definitely not sexual.
David Huggins, man. So I started researching.
Okay.
And then I came across a documentary he did.
Okay.
It was called Love and Saucers. It was done in 2017. He was 72 at the time.
All right.
And I go, wait a minute. Why don't I just watch the documentary where he talks about all the accounts?
Himself.
Yep. And he's a painter.
Okay.
And long short of it is...
I have an artist in mind, too.
Yeah. Long short is basically he paints his encounters, which I made a slideshow for you.
Beautiful.
And I will incorporate what slides I can, and you'll see why as we go on.
I'm very excited for this.
I couldn't find the really, really good ones. I was really hoping to surprise you with some, but I couldn't. Anyways, so I will, and the ones that I think I can, I'll like kind of blur some stuff out so that you can visually see it on YouTube as well on the video. Okay. But that's a little disclaimer. This is a spicy one. We could have probably done a whole episode on it, but that's not the type of episode we did.
Beautiful.
We did shorter tales. So let's get into David Huggins. David Huggins claims to have been abducted multiple times by ETs in his life. Each encounter becoming more fantastical and bewildering than the last. He is an artist and loves to paint these encounters that he has had with these aliens. His story begins in the summer of 1952 when he was only 8 years old. It's young to start.
8 years old.
8 years old. And it goes for a while. It sounds like we just made a cut right there, but in reality, we just both stuttered. 8 years old. Yeah, we're just getting back into it. No. We just I paused for a second. David, summer of 1951 on his family's farm. Okay. David was playing at the base of a tree on a farm when he heard some voice in his head say, "David, behind you."
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, keep that in mind.
When he turned around, he saw this little hairy guy with glowing yellow eyes coming straight towards him. You can do the slides, by the way. The first slide.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to get prepared for this.
That's fine. This is the little hairy guy that you're going to see.
All right.
He says that for a second, he felt as though he was looking at himself through this entity's eyes.
Okay.
Looking back at himself. Then he freaked out and started running towards the barn. When he looked back, he saw the little hairy guy turning around and going back into the woods. That was his first encounter that started this off. Now,
it kind of looks like a Squatch.
It does, but there's also tales of little hairy aliens. We'll get into it in different episodes, but little hairy aliens that basically all they have is yellow glowing eyes and like it's all hair. It's like Cousin It from Adam's Family.
Okay, yeah.
With yellow eyes and a glowing bush. It is the bushiest of
glad you caught
bushes. I did.
Good.
But
good.
I can't just react immediately. I wanted to finish the thought.
I know. I appreciate it. Thank you for circling back.
But this is one of many aliens that he encounters, and we'll get into it.
Cool. He's a good artist.
Yes.
I'm happy.
He really is.
I'm happy that now we can. I'm happy he's a good artist, so we
Yes.
can actually see things that good. Second off, did you bring Teenage Squatch?
I forgot him again.
All right.
I did. Yeah. Yep, I did. He's sitting at home on my couch with my Penn State hat backwards.
Nice.
There was a joke with Janet, and it kind of just stayed there. And now I keep forgetting to bring him.
Hey, he can stay there.
Little Squatch, we got you a buddy, but I've kidnapped him for 2 weeks. Sorry.
Little Squatch looks like he's about to start an OnlyFans.
He knew the story that was coming up, so he's like, I'm getting myself ready.
Please continue.
His next encounter happened. It didn't really give a timeline. It just said like encounter 1. That was that one. This one was like encounter 6, but they didn't give a timeline.
Okay.
Still when he was a kid though. David was playing. I said all of that, as you would say. His next encounter happened when he went out to the barn one day and heard a noise on the other side of the barn. So, as any kid would, he lost his spot. No, he went to take a look and saw this giant insect-like being. He said it looked like a praying mantis. Next slide, Lennon. Standing there.
Jesus.
He started screaming. Sorry, that just came up. He started screaming, and the insect sprayed him with some sort of bluish-gray liquid. He then ran away from the barn, and the bluish-gray liquid evaporated pretty quickly, he said. And that was the first account with Mr. Praying Mantis. He's not a reptilian, but he's literally like a praying mantis.
Yes, I'm a fan of this depiction of his, of the arms outstretched of him as if he was going to either bear hug or that's how he screams. Ah!
I can actually look at it too. I forgot I can just swipe back and forth.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, though. It legitimately is a giant praying mantis.
It really is.
Which leads credence to the theory that praying mantises are actually aliens from another planet.
Could it be?
Maybe.
I'm not saying aliens, but aliens. So on another day, he was getting ready to go over to his friend's house. He was walking behind the said barn when he got the feeling that he was being watched. But he didn't see anything. I couldn't find this picture, but basically it showed a picture of something poking its head above a bush.
Okay.
Just trying to give you a visual.
What kind of something was it? Was it like a normal looking?
Oh, just listen.
All right.
Then he hears a sound and looks over and he sees a head poking out from behind a bush, as I stated.
Yes.
He then saw a bright light and he sort of fainted. He fell to the ground and curled up. I'll say it in a second. He fell to the ground. Where the hell did that go? And curled up into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
There were then several little gray aliens standing over him while he was on the ground. You can go to the next slide. He then hears 3 beeps and is suddenly standing chest deep in some weeds. He wasn't sure how he got there. The picture Lennon obviously is looking at, and the video is looking at, is the one of him laying on the ground after this white light. Him in a ball and about, I would say 8 aliens. I think he said 8 or 9 aliens.
7
in the picture, yes. I think he said in the document 8 or 9 aliens.
Oh, okay.
Surrounded him, and there's your standard gray aliens with blue suits.
I was going to say, this is different. They actually have jumpsuits on this time.
Yep. And they're just, they kind of look like they're checking on him.
Yeah, it does look like a checkup
malice,
scenario.
Yeah, nothing malicious or anything like that. A couple years later, he was looking in a field for arrowheads, or he was looking for arrowheads in a field is what I meant to say.
In my head, I'm giving little commentary to what they're saying. Because the one sticking its arm out like this, he's like, Jim, just hold the fuck on. You don't know if you're going to get something from him. Don't touch it.
The other one looks like
he's like
shocked, like, whoa.
Don't touch him.
We don't know where he's been.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I like it. He was walking behind the infamous barn when he got the feeling that he was being... What? Did I just read that? I did.
It's okay.
A couple years later, he was looking for arrowheads in a field.
Yeah.
He glanced up to see 8 or 9 little gray aliens in odd blue outfits. Mm-hmm. He referred to them as the gray guys or the blue guys.
Spud, Judd, Fud, Dud, Clud, Mud,
Rud. It was the whole family before just Spud, Judd, and Fud.
Sorry, side question here. Do we know where this all takes place?
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah. Did you say that?
I might not have actually said that.
So it's in Georgia.
I cut that line in the intro.
Gotcha.
It was in Georgia. This was in Georgia.
Thank you.
I can't remember what his hometown was, but regardless,
it's all good.
It was Georgia. This incident.
And how long ago was this?
1950s.
Okay.
So he was 8. It was 1951. This was a couple years later, so it was like probably 1954 right now. I think.
Roger
it was.
that.
Trying to remember from the doc.
Got it.
So like I said, he referred to them as blue guys or alien guys or gray guys.
Yep.
I'm just gonna call them grays from here on out. Though.
Sounds good.
So they were dropping from the sky and hitting the ground, running straight towards him. And in my head, you can go to the next slide. In my head, all I'm picturing is, remember Tim Allen's movie, The Santa Claus, with the elves when they're going to save Charlie?
Yeah.
Running down. You get that scene in your head? That's what I'm picturing.
In my head, I just pictured them like, do you remember the new Suicide Squad when Weasel was falling into the...
Yes.
They splat and then they get up and run.
When I saw the picture here, the painting he did, all I could think of was...
It does look like it. Yeah.
Those
the elves.
The elves in the Santa Claus.
No, I see
thought it was great.
It's beautiful. It's a hell of a visual.
He said they hit the ground and they were running straight towards him, so they must have just been like running in midair and...
That's awesome.
Sorry, side cam. I kind of hit you.
That's great.
So he ran back towards the house when this happened, as I'm sure you would too. I would.
Yep.
And when on the other side, he looked underneath the house. His house was one of them that had like pillars.
Yeah.
So you could see under the house. You could see to the other side.
Yep.
So this allowed him to see to the other side, like I said, and he saw their legs underneath the house. And then they kind of just turned around, walked away, and left. So why?
Yeah.
What was the point in them
purpose?
Like Santa Clausing it down to run after him and then be like, he ran behind the house. That's it. What can we do?
It's SEAL Team 6 of the Greys. And they fucking failed.
We didn't get him. Jim, Bob. He's on the fucking other side of the house. No. Time to go. All right, you're the leader.
They get back to their commanding officer. And you're like, he used some incredible evasive maneuvers. Yeah. We could not keep up.
Fudd, we're looking down at the house right now. He's standing literally right there.
We can see him.
Doc. That's now the new commander. Doc.
It's not the medical officer.
No. It's very confusing in the alien world. Doc.
And Chief is the doctor.
I don't know what you want us to do. There's a house in front of us. We can't go around it. We're coming home.
We'll get him next time, boys.
Good job. Nice work, though. Scared the shit out of him. You see his face? He looked like a little bitch.
He'll be back.
It's where he lives.
He'll be back.
No other choice. So that night of this incident, he was looking out the window and he saw several little grays.
Yep.
They then came into his room and took him outside. Could you then just switch to the next slide, please?
Okay.
Do you see him? It should be 2 pictures.
The back. Yep.
So the first one on the left shows him, well, when he looked outside, there were just 8 or 9 standing there. In this picture, there's 7, so we're going to go with 7. Mm-hmm. And then if you look to the right, they're coming in his room. Now, the discrepancy between these two just kind of kills me. So one of them, he's sitting up in bed looking, and the alien is in the doorway to his bedroom.
Entering. Yep.
That is apparently... He has a door outside his bedroom.
I was about to say, it's nice that he has an outward-facing door to his bedroom.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, so I'm really looking at it right here.
It's quick escape.
And the other one is now he's laying in bed like he's sleeping with the alien.
They saw me.
Surrounding him. And the funnier thing is the gray in the door on the second one on the right.
He's so fucking small.
It's just chest high.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, actually, you did say his house sat upright.
You're right. It's on pillars.
Elevated.
You caught it. You got it. I forgot it. So, back to it, boys. I lost my spot. Sorry.
Looked like you were about to sneeze. He's like,
I got to highlight when I go over to the fucking pictures.
All good.
All right, they floated up. Okay, they came. They then came into that's going to be him later. They then came into his room and took him outside. You can go to the next slide, Leonard.
All right.
They floated up to some sort of UFO craft.
The one is Superman. He's like, I've waited all my life for this.
Yeah. I know he's going to paint this later, so I got to make
Oh my God. Did you see the one hanging on his leg?
he's just like this.
He's just like hitching a ride. He's like, fuck. He's the green recruit. He's the only one who couldn't get his flying powers yet.
That was fun. He's just hanging there.
Shit. It's so good. Beautiful.
I choked. So they brought him in.
Time real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
David Huggins, we are not making fun of your art or depictions.
Oh, no, it's fantastic.
They're incredible. We're just giving my inside of my head of this. It's just incredible. We appreciate it.
It's all good.
Yes. This is not insulting.
We are having fun.
Yes.
But at the end is what we'll get into the actual analysis of this all.
Yes.
Right now, let's just have fucking fun, dude.
Yes.
So,
just don't want to offend people.
So now he's in the craft. He is sitting in a room with one of the Greys, and a woman that's holding a long rod comes in. And
bend over. Oh wait, he's a kid.
Next slide.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's like fucking 10 at this point or something. Next slide. So you got him sitting. God damn you! What part are you laughing at? The little gray alien, the rod in her hand, her. Yeah. Oh.
She looks like if they were like, we gotta try and make ourselves look as human as possible, not to frighten the poor guy.
Throw on a wig and a robe.
Put a black wig on. She looks like the mom in the Adams Family.
Yes. Yes, very pale.
Fuck.
So she comes in the room with this long rod that you can see in that picture. And and he tilts his head back while the little guy holds him. You can go to the next slide.
All right.
She then sticks it.
Oh, shit.
She then sticks the rod up his nose and inserts something in his nose, which he thinks is them tagging him like we would do with quails and whatever else you would tag.
But little did he know he was actually getting a COVID test.
About 60 years too early, but yeah. Yep. That's kind of what it is. Look at the blood.
That's visceral, yeah.
Yeah, well, in the documentary, he was talking about how he said, "Ow, you're hurting me," or "You hurt me." Yeah. And she looked at him, or did. I don't think she did anything, but she said, "Let me see," and then the pain went away. Great. So I don't think it was trying to hurt him, but
yeah. Well, COVID tests are not fun.
Listen, well, yeah, that's true. I don't think anything shoving up your nose is fun, but I don't do drugs, so.
Neither do I.
I know you don't. That wasn't a knock on you or anybody listening. I'm just stating. But think about it. You know all the accounts of people getting tagged, and you go to a routine doctor's appointment. Oh, where'd you get this metal thing? I don't know. I've never.
Exactly. I know somebody who had something similar happen. I don't know if I ever told you that story.
You have not.
There's somebody I know.
Okay.
That had an X-ray.
End of story.
Had an X-ray, and there was a weird foreign metal object in their foot. Now, it wasn't ever taken. He didn't want to get taken. I was like, I don't fucking care.
That's what they say. Most people don't think anything of it. They think, oh, it's just next, and I forgot about.
Right. But, yeah, it happens.
You know, some of them have radio, no joke, some of them actually have, like, weak signals coming from them, too. So it's fascinating. But either way.
One time.
At band camp.
Yep.
Right up the ass.
Was in middle school. Nope, I wasn't. I was in early days high school. I was younger.
You were in middle school at one time.
At one point I was. Sorry, Dad. Yeah. I took my air rifle pellet gun and thought it was a good idea to aim it at put it right on top of the ground. And I was like, I'm just going to shoot this pellet into the ground. Why not?
Nope.
Well, there was a rock underneath it, and it splintered into a million little pieces.
And got your foot.
No, right in the shin.
Oh, okay.
So
I was about to say, what else have you done to your fucking foot? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I dug a tiny little metal piece of pellet out of my shin from that, but
you did it.
But I did it, and I knew about it.
Exactly. Unless that's MK Ultra, like
brainwashed me.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Lesson to be learned. People do not shoot bullets or pellets into the ground. There could be rocks.
Yes, but back to David Huggins.
Yeah.
These beings were never hostile. Mm-hmm. They may have scared the hell out of him.
It scared me too.
But they were never hostile.
Mm-hmm.
There were the little grays that he thought were like the worker beings, is how he described them.
Which is what most people describe too, is they think that they're the drone class.
Yep. Same, remember Travis Walton?
Yes.
He had the grays, and they were the ones doing the work.
They're not your upper management. They're not the brightest.
No, Spud, Judd, and Fudd are not. Can't even drive a goddamn UFO. They have the little hairy guy with glowing eyes, which we talked about. Rare accounts of that, but there are accounts of that.
We'll call him from now on
Cousin It.
Pzaz.
Oh, I like it. Pzaz. Fudd, Spud, Judd, and Pzaz. He doesn't talk or do much. He just stands there behind you. Boo!
I am Pzaz.
He said there was a tall, thin guy. Hold on, let me make sure I had this slide before I tell you. Yeah, go ahead. Next slide.
Next slide.
There's a tall, thin guy with a knob on the back of his head, and he said it was like the person that was in charge.
Okay.
Now, to me, that looks like an erect penis on the back of his head. But
a little bit.
But we're gonna just gloss past that. It's just a knob on the back of his head, like an antenna, maybe.
That's exactly what I was wondering. If maybe it's an antenna type situation.
So there's the insect being, the praying mantis, who was frightening, but the praying mantis spoke to him as if he was a child, always, even when he was an adult.
Okay. He returns.
Just you wait, baby.
Okay.
There's some jokes in there we're going to have fun with.
All right.
And then there was Crescent.
Crescent.
So we're going to...
Is that Dickhead?
It is not Dickhead. No. Now, you've already met Crescent, but we're going to gloss past that for a second.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm going to keep interrupting you.
I want you to.
As I was told to. This depiction of the being with the antenna on his head is very... I think it's different than any really other depictions or descriptions of aliens we've seen before. So this is kind of intriguing to me.
It's old.
I mean, the whole thing is, but
his name is Dickhead.
Yes. But yeah, not many have been described with the antenna.
Right, and I love it that they're all on like the same
blue jumpsuit
unit, if you will.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like David Huggins again. He had the Nordics, he had the Greys. I don't know if there's anything else. He was passed out for most of it, but
David Huggins.
Did I say David Huggins?
You did.
I'm sorry, Travis Walton.
Yes.
Back in episode 15.
The Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the Nordics. Yes. By the way, Crescent, push the next slide. I forgot I added her late.
Oh, shit.
That's Crescent.
God damn.
Looks like a gray alien with a fucking wig on.
She's a looker. She's a looker.
That's a studly bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is not...
I want you to keep looking at her.
Please. Actually, she is staring into my soul. I went back.
Okay. I saw it in your glasses. Like, wait a minute.
Oh, so you can't see my reflection?
Not on the camera.
Okay.
So we're gonna jump now. We're gonna jump to the year 1961 when David was about 17, 18 years old. He didn't say exactly when, but judging off of being 8 and 51, he'd be 17, 18 years old.
Yep.
He was walking in the woods when he saw a woman sitting under a tree.
All right.
She got up and started walking towards him. He then suddenly became very aroused. He would lay down on the ground on his back and reach his climax as they are looking into each other's eyes, which he states was a painful and intense orgasm.
He said a painful?
Yep, it was painful and intense.
Woo!
He then...
I was like, go on.
I've never had one of those. I passed out after. It's like, woo, I put some work in today.
That's it for me tonight.
He would then pass out.
You did a great job.
Yeah, not you, bitch. Shut up. No, I'm joking. I love it. He then would pass out while looking into her eyes.
Is it Crescent?
Yes. He wakes about 15 to 20 minutes later with his pants down around his knees, his pants and underwear, and he quickly gets up and pulls up his pants and underwear, and he got the fuck out of there.
Jesus.
Lennon, next slide. That, my friends, is how David Huggins lost his virginity.
Virginity lost.
You like that? That's why I waited.
God. Shit.
She is just full on cowgirling right there.
She is too, and you can tell he's liking it because he's doing some toe curling.
But look at his arm. It's like, stop!
Oh, that is a painful...
and satisfying. Intense, but painful.
Intense, but painful climax.
Yeah.
Wow. I do not like the soft smirk that Crescent is wearing.
I know. It's an alien, that's what they do.
Wow. She couldn't even do him the courtesy of getting undressed.
Oh, you want to see her undressed, huh?
Oh, not entirely.
Oh, okay. So, I had to see what the next slide was.
Virginity lost.
Yeah, so I thought that'd be a fun little touch.
That's incredible.
So yeah, that's how he lost his virginity. And then at 19, he decided to leave his hometown and go to the New York City.
New York City.
To pursue his passion of painting and the arts.
Well, he did a good job with it.
Yeah, he's a very talented painter. One wet night while he was walking.
Excuse me.
I knew that would get you, but I couldn't plow through. So she said. One wet night when he was walking on the sidewalk or the street or somewhere, anyways, he decided to try to catch a ride, and a black car stopped. I don't know why this is part of the documentary, but I added it because, well, fuck it. A black car stopped, and a woman was driving, asked if he wanted a ride. He said yes, if he could just take me to the other side of Central Park, that would be so much helpful. I can walk from there. Mm-hmm. He added this story before he tells the next one, so I don't know if this was the same, like if he was trying to say this was her.
Yeah.
Or if this is just a story for the hell of a story. I don't know. So that was prefaced before this story.
Okay.
That night, he had a dream of a woman's face. The face I already showed you. She had her eyes closed and was coming towards him in the darkness.
Yeah, she was.
That was all he could remember, stating that it was a dream-like state, but it wasn't a dream. Mm-hmm. He had this dream every night for the next couple of months with the woman saying, "We will be back tonight." Every morning when he woke up. So he'd wake up and he'd hear, "We would be back tonight." Mm-hmm. And then they'd come back tonight and he'd see the floating face and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
He would argue with himself through this whole time that he was dreaming. No, it was real. It was too realistic to be a dream. Back and forth, back and forth. And he didn't know what to think. So it was kind of fucking with his head. Mm-hmm. Then one morning, while waking, he heard the words again. But this time, he didn't forget them that day. So he remembered them the whole day. Yeah. As he was going about his day, he was going to classes and all that. He was coming home from classes, is what I meant to say. So I don't know why I said as he was going. My bad. Good. As he was coming home, walking home from class, he passed a florist. He passed a shop full of selling flowers.
A florist.
Florist, thank you. And he sees these flowers in the window, and he decides that if the woman is real, then these flowers are hers. He's a real romantic guy. I like him.
He's an old romantic.
He is. As he went to bed that night, he said, "Those flowers are for you." Upon waking up, the flowers were gone. Next slide.
Interesting. Oh, God.
She's got real manly shoulders, by the way.
Well, it's more so...
She took the flowers, by the way. That's what he was insinuating, that she took the flowers.
She's got a set on her.
She does. Just wait. She has a real set.
All right. But the thing that I'm taking away from this is that she's got white face paint on.
I don't know. I think that's just the way he painted it.
Okay.
I think she had a gray... She said she had a gray... She had a pale face with big eyes. To me, this is after, but I think it's more of like a gray alien trying to fit in type of thing. But anyways.
She looks like she's wearing... he's wearing drag.
Stop it!
Not David, but whoever the hell Crescent
David's in bed in the background while this intruder is just standing there like, "Ooh, flowers."
Gotta reapply the face paint.
Oh, man.
Hard to look at, woman.
Yeah, well, the next night, they were, how do you call it? Okay. So they were rubbing...
genitals.
Let me rephrase this. Okay. This is his quote. The next night, we were rubbing our heads together.
Okay.
He then makes a point to say, the next time you're with your girlfriend, start rubbing your heads together. Trust me on this. Now, Lennon, go to the next slide. This is them rubbing their heads together.
Is this going to give me a reaction?
It will.
Oh.
They're rubbing their heads together.
With a cuck in the background.
Yeah, you got it. There's the old praying mantis. Just sitting in the corner. Just fucking watching like a creeper.
Oh, God.
Oh, and look at her fingernails, by the way, right by his head there.
Oh, they're long. Mm-hmm. sensual.
So he said the only difference was the gray, like the pale face, the
Her
big
face
eyes.
is morphing in this. She looks more
alien.
No, well, the gray, yes.
Yeah.
But she's getting progressively more human-like features.
Yeah, that might just be his depiction of painting. I think as he went along, the actual depictions got a little better.
Okay.
Because the earlier ones were a little rougher, but as he progressed, they did get better. I'm
also wondering if it was a subconscious type. You're good. Subconscious type thing where he started. If I'm following this right, there's a romance forming.
Yes.
And I'm starting to wonder if he was more so drawing her with more beautiful features as the romance developed in his brain. You know what I mean?
I would say yes. Oh, maybe as he remembered it.
Or she could have been physically changing.
We'll get there, yeah.
Or I could be reading too much into his art.
No, we'll see. Oops. Apparently the scrolling of this does too. My bad. Please don't go to the next slide yet. Just stay there.
I'm not
just
doing
stay
anything.
there. I accidentally did, and
I'm not
I got
doing
scared.
anything until I'm told.
So anyways, next time you're with your wife, start just rubbing your heads together. Let's see where that goes.
All right.
Report back.
I'll give it a shot. I'll see what she says.
He describes the female He describes Crescent as having a very nice body, and that the only thing different about her was her very long fingernails, as I pointed out, pale face, and big eyes. He calls Crescent his girlfriend, and then shows one of the first paintings he ever did. Hold on.
Do we have a name?
So can you do... What's that?
Do we have a name for Praying Mantis?
Shit. We haven't yet, but I have these slides out of order, and I don't want you to see the next one.
Do what you gotta do.
I don't know if I can do it. Anyways, all right. Close your eyes. Push right twice. 1, 2.
Okay.
That's the first drawing he ever drew. That's him having sex with Crescent in his bedroom.
Crescent, again, has a tan body.
But you can see, this is the first drawing he ever did. You can see what I mean by it got better as he went.
It did.
But what else do you see? I want you to describe this for the people, please.
Well, apart from the head, Crescent's she's working it.
She is.
Well, okay, that could have been taken two different ways.
She's got the hands on the chest and everything.
Well, head down, she's got a normal human-looking body, and she looks cut.
Yeah.
Fit.
She's fit.
She's taking care of herself. And also, there's another cuck in the background again. Old Dr. Mantis is back cucking it up.
Oh, that's old Doc, huh?
Yeah.
Doc is, he must love watching her fuck. I don't know.
Something. He also looks like it's being done to him. He's just there.
He is.
But she's putting work in. I'll tell you that.
So that is Lennon's description of the painting. The first painting he ever drew that he was given permission to draw of the intercourse he had with Crescent, with the old cuckold Doc in the background there, huh?
Doc the Praying Mantis.
Doc the Praying Mantis. He then shows a slideshow of his sexual encounters with her and explains that he was always having sex with her. Him on the bottom and her on top, because he was basically paralyzed.
Oh.
I wonder if the praying mantis like bug was watching every time too. Hey Lennon, first off, go back a slide. You can now
just one.
You can just go back one.
Oh wow, interessante.
You see why I waited?
Yeah,
right.
No, that's good. Put a fucking bag over her head, and I mean, she looks like supermodel.
Yeah.
Supermodel without clothes on.
The thing I find funny, outside of the alien gray head with a wig on,
sure.
She's first off muscular.
She's like, you like these?
Thank you. Like the cupping of the boobs.
Yeah.
She's just like, how about these, big boy?
Hey, in case the disclaimer was lost on you all at the beginning, mature content.
Yeah. Oh,
She's not bad. She's not bad.
Great. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, she's tan.
She's tan. It's like a legitimate, like female, perfect body with a gray alien head. And I have my own thoughts on this as we go.
Okay.
But I'll save that for the end. Now you can push 2 over.
All right. Is there more tits?
It's full of tits, baby. All right.
Don't look.
So this is his.
That's the expression.
This one and the next slide. You can pop back between those two.
Okay.
Are other depictions I could find of him. Like I said, he drew his relations with her. But every time, this fucking praying mantis is in the room with them.
Yeah. It's
what is up with that? Like, is this an experiment that he needs to oversight?
Preside over? Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Because every single sexual encounter, minus the first one where he lost his virginity, because I didn't see it in the drawing anywhere, the mantis is there.
Now, Love and Saucers, Unexpected Guests. Sorry, I was reading the...
Oil. Yeah.
I was reading the title, he called this one.
No, that's the title of the documentary.
Oh, Unexpected Guests?
Well, it's Love and... But
Love and Saucers.
Gotcha.
But the title of this painting.
Yeah, I gotcha. My bad.
So, with a lot of... tangenting here.
Yes.
With a lot of alien encounters where there's sexual relations involved, and not in a comedic way, sexual relations, like legitimate abductees having sexual relations or having their sperm taken from them, or
which is the case here.
Yes. It's usually, it seems like, apart from a few cases, it's usually like one and done. And then I can't remember the exact one, but there's one where like he was abducted. This guy was abducted again later on in the future and saw his children, his human alien hybrid children.
Oh,
unless that's this one.
We'll find out, I guess.
But there was a couple of them like that. But usually it's a one and done thing.
Yeah. That they remember, though.
That they remember. That's
they
true.
They seem to be able to take your memories and make you forget. So
yeah,
maybe they just don't remember the other times.
But maybe Crescent just loves the guy.
Maybe it legitimately was a girlfriend. Who knows? And
he had an alien fetish.
Well, I mean, I guess if you just close your eyes to the face...
Just have her doggy style?
He's paralyzed, though. How is he doing doggy style? How about reverse cowgirl, at least? Like
that's a little better.
Yeah, I mean, that just looks like a dark-haired woman riding you. Huh? I mean, so one day now, David is painting in his room, and the wall suddenly opens up, and in comes Crescent.
All right.
Now, she looks very stressed.
Here we go.
And the pants down. Oh, no, that's not this kind of encounter. She looks very stressed, and she says, David, the baby is dying.
Oh, fuck.
Startled, David said, baby? What baby? Crescent said, your baby, but it's dying. He said, show me the baby, which she then tells him that she can't show him the baby. Mm-hmm. She's not allowed to. So he yells it out 3 times, and then she proceeds to show him the baby. Now, what really happened in the documentary, I wrote that kind of funny.
Okay.
Basically, he said, she said, I can't show you. He yelled it out, show me the baby, and said, fine. I'll basically, like, he Thanos'd it, like, fine, I'll do it myself. And he fell asleep in bed and woke up in the kind of like an astral projection or something. Okay. I really can't explain it.
Yep.
I was a little confused, but either way, he got on the fucking spaceship.
Uh-huh.
So she then picked the baby up out of some kind of container that was holding it, and she held it out in front of her. I said that funny. I went off script. And
no, it's okay. It makes sense.
Yeah. She held it so that it was dangling, and David proceeded to tell her how to hold the baby. You cradle it. You don't hold it where it's dangling.
Support the neck.
Exactly.
You got big fucking heads.
Baby's dead anyways. So he said
shit.
He needed to go there. She said, no, you're not. Oh, I jumped ahead of myself.
It's okay.
In the portal thing, she showed him the baby. Then he said, I need to go there. My baby's dying. I can't go there. Why is this? Or watch this. Not why is this. Watch this. And that's when he fell asleep and went there. Anyways,
okay.
He then passed out in bed. The next thing he knew, he was there, and the insect being was very upset, so were the little grays, that he was on the ship. They asked, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. David said, my baby's dying. I want my baby.
Mm-hmm. I want my baby back, baby.
Oh, damn. Go to the next slide. I forgot to tell you that. I'm sorry. This was okay. Crescent when she came into the room.
This is... Okay, with the circular thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
But my confusion is he never mentioned anything about the cuckold in the corner.
Yeah, the she's also naked again.
She's not naked.
Crescent?
Yeah, she has a robe on.
I must be on the wrong one. That's the one I'm on. Okay, I'm the next one.
Gotcha. Yeah, you were supposed to be switching those two, right? Okay. Anyways.
Yes. There she is.
So there she is. She's in there. She's fully clothed.
Mm-hmm. With their little posse.
He looked over at... Exactly. He looked over at Crescent.
The one even looks like it's sitting there snapping on the left. Just hunched over, just snapping West Side Story in it.
I'll fucking show you some shit, dog. He looked over at Crescent, who was holding the lifeless baby, and walked over to her. He reached his hand out to touch the baby, and then there was a surge of static electricity that jumped from his hand to the baby's, and then the baby started moving. Huzzah! It's alive!
The day is nigh.
Go to the next slide.
All right. Oh,
So that's him reaching out, touching the baby.
It's adorable.
It's so cute. This human... Yeah, it's a human gray hybrid looking thing.
And then, are you looking at the picture?
I am, yeah.
And then Dr. Praying Mantis just head pops in. He's like, you like that?
Shit!
You doing good, champ?
Damn. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it. So the baby started moving. It was alive. The insect, old Doc there, then told David to come with him, and they went into another room filled with hundreds of babies. Next slide, please.
Damn! Just more things Doc's saying as he interjects. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Doc's wearing a robe now.
David said, whose babies are these? Doc, the insect, praying mantis, being pointed at him to signify that they were his babies. So all those times he's fucking old Crescent there, he was making a lot of babies. Or it might not have been Crescent. Who knows? Might have been different. Doesn't matter. We'll get to that later.
Okay. All right.
After a bit of a snack.
After a late snack.
How about this? After a bit of a shock, he concluded that they were his babies, and he had to help them all. So he went around touching every single one and bringing them back to life.
Oh, that's good. It's his.
I love that he has the power of Zeus and just fucking... You're alive.
It's true. Maybe it was that half connection that they needed. True.
I love in the picture how shocked he looks, though. Right?
I would never.
Me? Now,
he just got done with daytime parent court. He's like, you are the father.
Really? Well, the funny thing about all this
is... might be a bad time right now, but you owe $32,000 in child support.
Per kid. That's roughly $3.2 million. Is that okay? Yeah, we'll start the clock now.
It's so good.
Now, some other things he noted by the end of it were they didn't know how to... The children didn't know how to breastfeed. Didn't know how to feed. And the Greys apparently didn't know how to feed the kids.
Yeah. Well, no
so wonder. David had to teach them.
Tell me it's not on himself.
So, I want you to flip to the next slide to show you how they taught him.
All right.
He's getting an old suckling.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I mean,
so apparently he just suckles on old Crescent's breast to show the gray baby that's apparently just staring at his shoulder how to breastfeed. Fucking kid with ADD. I love the ones in the background. Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you're getting the clue now. So, that's how he taught them how to breastfeed. Cool. He suckled on a little bit himself.
Yeah. He just had a little... I mean, who knows if there was milk glands producing anything, but...
Right. Is this a human hybrid? Is this an android with a gray commanding it just to get sperm samples? I don't know. We're getting into the realm of the
final thoughts.
Unknown. So, you wouldn't think that incidents like this would be forgettable. But, for some reason, David didn't remember anything until August 17th, 1987. Now, again, could be the aliens erasing the memory or whatever. What do they call it? Blocking the memory from him. They had left him alone for a long period of time. And during this time, he got married and he had a human kid with a human woman. And he had seemingly a normal life by all accounts until... he started to remember things. Now, he started to flip out as he constantly felt a presence that never saw anyone. Now, I feel that in my house right now. I didn't mean bedroom, sorry. My house right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm being fucked by aliens, but hey, maybe, who knows? He became very nervous, anxious, and paranoid. He didn't know who to speak to, but he heard about a guy named Bud Hopkins, an abduction researcher. Hopkins wrote a book called Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods.
Hey, I have that book in the other room.
Do you? I wish I would have known that. I would have just flipped to the chapter. Anyways, David started reading this book, and he came to a chapter called Other Women, Other Men. Have you read this book at all?
Years ago.
Okay.
When I was in college.
Of course, this chapter outlines and describes many of the things David had experienced. Here's some of the little passages that flip through in the documentary.
Okay.
Big eyes and gray skin, round heads. She had mammaries. Mammaries. Sorry,
it's all good.
Me erect, and she mounted me. All my clothes off. I orgasmed. Breeding experiment. A sperm sample. Very painful. She was real. Just little snippets from pages they showed. I just kind of paused and wrote down. Interesting that the book says the same thing. Now, some might say, oh, he got the story from the book. Others might say, this is an isolated incident. Isn't an isolated incident.
Yeah, it could be
There's so many things. We'll get to his character later, but...
You know how sometimes you're like flipping through something and you see something from when you were a child. Something pops up and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that. That's a product or a commercial or something from my childhood.
Right.
But you haven't thought of it since then.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's something like that. It's that memory awakened it in your mind. It awakened that memory, you know.
Yes.
So maybe it's something like that.
So right now I'm going to go through
You
multiple...
don't know you forgot it if you
don't
forgot it. If you forgot it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like someone saying, I have a great memory. I remember everything. Well, how do you know, though?
Right.
I love that excuse. Like, oh, I remember everything. But how do you know if you forgot it? Like,
Exactly.
How do you know you have a great memory?
Right. By the way, you and all the listeners just lost.
What happened?
The game.
What game?
It's a 90s kid thing. Did you ever play the game when you were in school where...
I'm waiting for the game.
You don't know you lose the game until somebody tells you that you lost the game, and then you lost the game.
Okay. No, I've never played this game.
Oh, that's something from when I was in school.
Oh. Well, what's the game?
That's the game.
All right. We lost, guys. Sorry. I tried to lead you through this journey.
I failed. I can't text my brother, but if I texted my brother and said, you just lost, he would text me back, like, son of a bitch! Sorry.
Don't be. So his response to this chapter, by the way, is, oh my God, this is the woman I never told anybody about.
Okay.
And as he continued to read it, memories started to flood back in, and he didn't know what to do about these memories. Mm-hmm. So he kind of mentioned it to his wife about the memories and the abductions, and then he started going into the sexual experiences, and basically his wife said, nope, I'm out, and they are divorced now. So that's a little rundown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well... I could see.
So how strong is the marriage, though? I mean, come on.
Well,
like, it's a traumatic event. Even if he is, let's just say he is got a mentally unstable personality,
sure,
which you've married, so you kind of knew. Wouldn't you be by yourself? Like, how much did you really?
I know what you're saying.
I want to ride or die, bitch. Is all I'm trying to say.
I got to ride or die, bitch.
I was blown her away. I was blown away. Anyways, so long story short.
Yeah.
Long story long. He says that there was a meeting with these beings, and the tall, thin one told David to paint his memories, basically. Mm-hmm. So he started painting, and he was able to start sleeping again. So it kind of was one of those, okay, start painting your memories.
Yeah.
And that helped him sleep. So that put his mind at ease is what I'm trying to say.
In my story...
That whole... divorce thing was just a side tangent.
Yeah.
That's going back to the last paragraph.
Right, I got you. My in my story, the artist, he did the same thing. He painted what his experiences were, and he said it was like a therapy to him.
Yep. So he did an experiment too.
Okay.
He claims to have done an experiment to try to paint something that didn't happen, that wasn't true, and basically he wasn't able to. They didn't allow him to, so it only document what actually happened.
That's kind of cool.
It is. I mean, of course, this is someone's word. You don't really know. There's no fact checking here.
For sure.
All of this is just people's word.
From what you
saw, I
saw,
like to just bring all of it.
From what you saw in the documentary.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about final thoughts, but I'm curious. You finding his stuff credible? You finding him credible?
I do, and yes, that is something I want to talk about. I didn't have written down, but there's a lot of stuff that you
can kind of tell with people.
Yeah. Something happened.
Okay.
But he says that there was a meeting. I read all of that. I can't do it like you do. That's great. As I stated before, all these photos will be in the YouTube video. Oh, by the way, there's one more slide.
I was going to ask, because all I've been seeing is a guy suckling on an alien's tit.
The last one is just the end. It's just a random drawing he had. Anyways.
Oh,
that way you don't have to look at it. I mean, you don't have to look at the tits anymore.
I love this one. This is good. This is good.
I thought it was a good one.
They have their little romance going on.
It literally is like a book.
You got the two random ass aliens just like
the cuckolds in the background,
chilling there, and then you got old Dr. Mantis just standing there presiding over everything. He must be in charge.
That's what I'm thinking too. But my question is where's our little hairy guy? It wasn't the last time you saw him. You saw him before. Anyways,
I like the painting within the painting too.
Yeah.
The aliens in the back are T-posing.
Yep. They're floating in from earlier.
That's good. That's good. Did he paint his own painting in a painting? Oh, my God.
This is a paintingception. Paintception.
Wow.
So all these will be in the video. And the ones that I can't put in, I'm going to try to blur out so you can see something.
Yeah, just take a look for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the one where she's looking like a supermodel. I'll just leave that one hanging there.
So
here they are, big boy.
There's so many of them. So
I just scream that, and I think everybody who could hear it is like, "What the hell?" Because they got a function going on out there.
So I do want to point out, by the way, that there were other paintings. I couldn't find them, but they showed them in the documentary, like full penetration. See, you have. There's a lot. You have to like look it up. Watch the documentary.
Where did you
Love
find
and
it?
Saucers. I did. You can rent it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I bought it because I just thought it was the greatest thing. And then I guess Hulu has it, but I don't have Hulu to confirm that.
Okay.
So
I definitely will check that out.
But it's interesting. It's
I
very
feel like I just watched it.
Actually, everything I just told is basically the first half of it.
Oh.
The last like 25 minutes is like them talking to neighbors and all this other stuff.
Okay.
And, yeah. So to kind of get a character type of
Sure.
thing. But again, I'll talk about that after I finish up. Because right now I want to know why. What's your favorite painting that you saw? Now, I didn't show you them all, but which one's your favorite one that you saw?
So my favorite one so far, I think the most visually pleasing is going to be the supermodel one.
Yep.
A lot of them are very interesting. I do not like Crescent in the one where she's staring into my soul. The depictions he has are, for me as a visual guy, very helpful. And I think all of them are done very well. Mm-hmm. You know, I just got to go with the tits. I'm a guy. I'm straight. You know, I like them.
So, yeah. I wish I could have found the other ones.
I'm a fan of the characters in there, too.
But that gives you another reason to watch the documentary.
Yeah. She took care of herself. I mean, she
sure did.
She's shaving.
Everything.
Not that that's
except
a problem.
For the wig. Except for the wig.
Except for the wig.
Yeah. I would agree. I like that. I like the photo where she's just like, look it, these are my titties.
They're there. They're nice.
As well as all the sex scenes with the fucking bug in the background.
I'm really curious to know more about the bug's background. Like, what is his shtick? What's his deal? You know,
is he just like watch fucking?
I'm getting the feeling that he's a supervisor.
I agree.
Yeah. He's in charge of whatever these experiments are. I want to know what happened to the guy with the antenna on his head. I want to know his story, his background. Did he have anything?
Brief. It was very brief.
He didn't have anything more on him.
No, just that one meeting, and he kind of just mentioned him.
These alien-human hybrid stories are pretty wild, and I got thinking about it when we were talking more when he was going through and giving the gift of life to all of these aliens for the second time. What if these grays that everybody sees, what if they are actual hybrids, and that is where they come from, and that's why they may be a lower class, is because they're maybe raised like cattle, because like they come here. They have more, I would say, more human features than some of the other aliens. You know, they're small and gray and bald, big eyes, but apart from those little variations on a human form, they still have the human form in some way, shape, or form. It's just a variation of it. So maybe that's what these are, you know? That's just a thought I was thinking.
No, it's
is
a
that
good
maybe
thought.
that's where grays come from, is that they're the hybrids, and that this has been happening for a long time.
Right. I can get that. Now, before we continue with all these thoughts, I just want to give a close of his background and how they didn't leave it this way, but I want to give everybody the full info.
Yep.
So now it closes with a painting. It didn't close with a painting. We close. Me and you in this episode.
All right.
Or this tale. Close with him painting and him talking about stuff like telling his father when he was a kid, and his father yelling at him and telling him that he's seeing things and he whipped him. David would then tell, I'm assuming it was Crescent, he just said tell Crescent what his father did, that he got whipped for telling him that about her. Mm-hmm. And Crescent would then look upset and would say, then don't tell anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like I've seen this guy before on something.
It's possible. Now, it's always
yes,
possible.
it is.
It sounds like he had an unpleasant childhood because he talks about how his mother and father were drunks and always drinking, and that if he was around, they would always whip him with either he said a switch, which I think is
it's a switch or a swatch.
Switch.
Okay.
Or a belt.
I'm pretty sure a swatch is like a little mini dowel type deal.
Gotcha.
Wooden dowel.
He said when he said switch, he said, and there were pretty thick branches. So I'm assuming a switch.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Okay, or a belt, if he was around. And then during the doc, he says he was working on a movie script. By the way, can't wait to see that porno.
Is that a Josh known?
That is a Josh known. Yes, he did say he was working on a script for a movie. All right. My note was, can't wait to see that porno.
Yeah.
But as of right
Fire
now,
in the Sky was very good, and that's about Travis Walton.
It was. Not fully true, but that's okay. They're trying to redo it. So that I wanted to give everything so that we can kind of analyze what's going on here.
Okay.
You kind of started with your idea of the
Sorry, I
grays.
thought we were in that point. But that's
sorry.
where I'm thinking. I thought that's my fault. I was thinking the gray type thing.
So you think this is all an experiment to get a human gray hybrid, or just a grays? That's where grays come from.
I think that the experiment's well long gone, and that this is now a process.
Gotcha.
Because with abductions and stuff, not all of them are, I can't speak to the abductions that don't have sexual encounters.
Right.
We also don't know how many of them do, because some people are brave enough, if this is all true, some people are brave enough, like him, to come out and be like, hey, this is my shit. I got raped by an alien for years. By the way, she's got some nice tits.
Anyway, I don't think he would say rape, though, because he enjoyed it. He called her his girlfriend.
Exactly.
He misses her. That was part of it. Now, remember,
you're right.
He misses her and all that stuff.
You're right. But I think at this point they've ironed out the process, and that this might be a process for how grays are formed. Like I said, in his story, if you look at the depictions and look at his story that you presented,
yes,
the grays, the little guys, haven't done anything major other than grunt work.
Help. Yep.
And there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking drone class, and I'm thinking that they're the grunt guys. Like, hey, go get that kid. Just go get him. Oh shit, he's scared. Go check on him. Make sure he's okay, because we need him in good health. Something like that.
Oh God, you scared him away. Now he's behind the house. Can't find him.
then that's why they suck. Because you did one evasive maneuver, and they're like, where did he go?
I thought it would look cool, guys. No, FUD, you fucking idiot. Never done another. No more. Done. Done. But in the future, do not touch the UFO ray, okay? Do not blast a man. You fucking blasted him. You goddamn it, FUD.
Idiot. But then again, you got Crescent.
Yes.
And she has gray alien facial features and head structure.
Very much so.
But she does not have any of the other same characteristics nor features of a regular gray alien. Right. So who's to say what she is? You've got the praying mantis guy. You've got Dickhead, the antenna guy.
Doesn't have a name. He's just Guy.
His
name is Guy.
I'm imagining this is like a Star Trek crew at this point.
But again, not David Huggins. I'm sorry. Travis Walton. He had different.
Exactly.
And they had different like levels, basically.
And getting further and further and higher above even this story is all these different races that have been reported. There's a Federation of the Universe or whatever it was called.
Yep. Galactic Federation. I can't remember.
That might be Star Trek.
It might be.
No. But yeah, I mean, there's a shit ton of races that people report, and who's to say that they aren't all at war?
Right.
I'm sure they work together.
They gotta be.
So And who knows what race created what? Maybe someday we'll find out all this stuff, but...
Now, I will go a little bit into his credibility, and then I'll ask you what you think if the story is real or fake.
Yeah.
So, in the documentary, they kind of interviewed people. They interviewed his son, who I love that they interviewed him because they showed him.
Yeah.
And he was doing push presses and working out in his like apartment in Tokyo, whatever. His son seemed fine. He seemed very normal. Good. David seemed normal the whole time. You know how when someone's telling a story, it feels rehearsed or they said it?
Yep.
He did not. His was, it could have been, this was definitely, it might have been a dream. It felt like a dream. Or this definitely happened. It just seemed credible and like he wasn't rehearsed. It was, you asked a question and I really got to think about it for a second. But they interviewed
he was recalling the memories.
Exactly.
Scanning through them.
Yes, not just rehearsed.
Or making it up on the spot. Yeah.
Exactly. They talked to his neighbor, who I think was his neighbor for 20 years, I think they said. Mm-hmm. And they asked him, first they asked him about his character. Oh, he's a very nice guy. We have, sit out here talking all the time. Very blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And they said, have you heard his story? And he said, no, I haven't heard his story. And then they proceeded to give him David's book of the pictures, some of the paintings I showed you, but way more. Mm-hmm. And the guy seemed to not be bothered by it. Like he's, oh, okay, all right. Like he believed it and had no issue with it. So credibility, just a guy that says, this happened to me and people will believe.
Yeah.
He works one day at a deli. That's all he does. So he's doesn't make a lot of money, okay? Mm-hmm. Works one day at a deli. They asked his boss about it. His boss seemed pretty like, oh, if that's what he says he saw it then. Mm-hmm. Just not the response you normally would feel like you would get to a story like this. Again, he's not making, I know he's making a movie script about it, but it's not like he's making any money off it.
Yeah.
Some people don't, his closest friend and neighbor didn't even fucking know about the story, okay?
Right. It's so like a guy in my story. I'm attributing it to what a guy in my story said. Is at the end he said that he's telling his story not for fame or fortune, but because even with the repercussions from it, he wants to educate people and tell them.
Gotcha.
And if people hear it, they're not alone. So
he seems credible.
Sure.
All right. Now, my question will be, and I'd like you to answer first.
Okay.
Do you think his tale, do you think he's telling the truth, A, and then B, is the truth and the actual truth an alien abduction, a military experiment, something else? If you think he had the actual encounter, what do you think the encounter actually was?
Okay.
Was it what he's recalling?
Yeah.
Or is this like a mind control? What is it?
Uh-huh. All right. So I will get a better feel for him myself. Not that I don't trust you. Feel for him myself when I watch this documentary. But taking it face value of this, I do believe that this may have happened to him. Most of experiences, or most of them, sure, probably did happen. Right. And then the second part of your question is, I do not believe that this is terrestrial. I believe this is from alien, or this is an extraterrestrial.
This is actual abduction.
Yes.
Got it.
And I think why is the same reason I said before. I think he's part of what many others are part of, except his just might have been a little more, for lack of a better word, fleshed out, and it might have actually been more involved than just a one and done one night stand with the rest, like some others, and like I said,
decades worth of sex with Crescent.
Exactly. And like I said, there's a couple other stories that I've read, that I've heard of people who have been taken back years and years later, and they're like, hey, this is your kid. And they looked like it wasn't a gray. It wasn't a gray that they were forced to have sex with, but it was a Nordic.
Right.
So their child was Nordic human, so it looked very human, but it was like very like stunning looking, I forgot.
There wasn't this in the this wasn't this in the slideshow, but they did have pictures of him with the kids, not as babies, and they were human looking with the blue jumpsuit on.
Okay.
So I forgot to mention that. So they didn't look like grays at that moment. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't find that slideshow.
If that's the case, then maybe right idea, just wrong character. What if the grays are the ones that are being mated with or crossed with. And then when they grow up, they look like Crescent. Then you get the Crescent features. They're taller, but they still have some of that gray alien features.
Right.
And then keep crossbreeding it like that. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. David knows.
Maybe. I mean, as long as that's what actually happened, it's not like mind control shit.
Sure. It's pretty wild.
But the slide that I just threw in there is actually, that's him with one of his so-called children.
Yeah. Well, but
slide 23.
I could just open it up like this. There we go. You just scroll down, 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 scrolling. Just doing it on a new.
Yep. You don't, you've already saw it's fine.
Titties. Oh.
There you are.
All right.
So that's, now I've actually found it. So that's one of his children.
He's a little guy.
Hi, Papa.
Huh. Crescent's a proud mama.
No, of many, many babies. Or is she?
Well, okay, so there's the other thing. The pic where he's suckling on Crescent's teat. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of other Crescent-looking people behind her with babies.
Yes.
So is it all the same Crescent?
So, I'm not... obviously, I don't know, but here's what I'm thinking. There's a couple of things. So, I think it happened, I think. I don't think it was a government experiment. I think it was maybe an alien thing. And I think it's a breeding procedure. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's a breeding procedure with the grays. What I think is they're just collecting sperm. And how would they do that with these bodies, right? Well, what if this isn't a gray alien with a human body? What if this was a machine, if you will, that the gray alien then can sit in and kind of control somehow? I don't know. Maybe with his mind, throw a wig on and, hey, look, I'm real. And that this body collects the semen and then they can use it for hybrids or whatever purpose.
Sure. He did say it was painful.
Yeah. Because I could see that happening too. Now, how do they, like, if they're actually an alien race and they can do this, they obviously have ways to make it move, make it look real.
But make it move.
Yeah. Well, you got to move.
The gyrations were incredible after that software update.
But that was one thought I had, was that. Or maybe it is a gray human hybrid and they just continue to, maybe they're trying to get us so they can integrate into society and people won't recognize them, but they're having issues with the face apparently. Then again, Linda Moulton Howe really looks... I know it's how. Linda...
I wasn't laughing at the pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
I was laughing at the joke you were making. I knew right where you go. As soon as you said her name, I knew right where you were going.
Could be one of these people.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, there's those. There's a painting.
Maybe some of them have to be viable. I don't know if that's the right word, right use of the word, but maybe compatible.
Right.
Maybe that's what the DNA sample, or maybe it was a DNA sample or something with the COVID test earlier on when he was a kid. So I'm just scrolling through these pictures again to see if anything of this is sticking out to me for comments on it, you know.
So that's just kind of me. I'm thinking maybe the mantis, like, what?
Titties.
Oh, the mantis creature. Maybe I can see where you are right now. Maybe the mantis creature. Maybe that's like maybe that's why he was paralyzed, because they can do that. I have no clue. But there also is a painting I could not find, no matter how much I searched. He's standing there. He has two crescents on each, or one crescent on each side of him.
He had a threesome.
Yeah. But he's standing at a table, and there's a bowl on top of the table, and he is collecting a sample, if you will, into that bowl.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. He's making a deposit.
I think that maybe that these are his kids, but I don't know if it's necessarily with Crescent. I think maybe they were... Or, hell, if they can get him paralyzed, they can make him hallucinate. Maybe they were jacking him off in the fucking bed, and they're like, here, this is more pleasant if you think it's a woman.
That's true.
And then they collect the sample.
There's Pzaz.
What? Where?
I just looked up David Huggins' paintings, and I was kind of curious what other ones there were. Not that you didn't put them in, but I was curious if there was ones that you were talking about, and I saw Pzaz.
There are many that I didn't put in, but you'd have to watch the doc to see all those because I couldn't find them. So yeah, I think he's a credible person and had this account.
There is a movie, Love in an Alien Purgatory, The Life and Fantastic Art of David Huggins.
Oh, is there another one? What year is that?
Okay, never mind, because that album cover is something completely different.
Gotcha.
That's just a Google image thing. That's pretty wild shit. Let me tell you what. Good stuff. I think that's a pretty wild story. I'm definitely going to watch that documentary now.
Yeah. I have no other
Neither do I.
explanation for it. I don't think it was MK Ultra-esque.
No, I definitely think it's non-terrestrial.
Yeah. But, hey, whatever it was, he remembers it. He's drawing paintings for us and love it. And if it's not real, great fucking story, dude.
Seriously.
Like, bravo. Why are you not in Hollywood?
It's
like,
pretty
that
good.
was minus the,
Missed your calling.
But if he's not gaining any profit from it, I don't really see what the point of a 70-something-year-old man continuing. At some point, you would just say, fuck it, I was lying. I don't know.
Right.
So why don't you guys leave us your thoughts on what you think about this story? It's an incredible story.
It is very incredible.
So go to our Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, YouTube comments, whatever you like. But that was David Huggins' story. Thank you, David, for a great story. Next week, we're going to do a part 2 of this with Lennon doing his story.
Yeah, that's
on
the
Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire UFO incident.
Yeah, I'm excited because I haven't heard this one.
It's pretty engaging.
Yeah.
Not nearly as engaging as having sexual intercourse with Crescent and her big tits.
Oh, 20 plus years.
That's so offensive.
Why?
Her big breasts. I apologize to all the women listeners.
I know, because I wrote breast through the whole thing, and I don't know how many times I said breast, tits, titties,
Tatas.
boobies, tatas.
Yeah.
Old crusty booby.
Well, yeah, it's not as sexual as that, and by not as sexual, I mean there's no sexual in it at all.
That's all right.
That they know of, but we'll talk about it next week, though.
Hey.
Stay tuned for that.
Surprise! Two-parter.
Surprise two-parter. Surprise to us.
If it really was. But until then, and then on that bombshell, I meant to say, you're the outro today.
I'm the outro.
On that bombshell of a story, Lennon, go home. No, throw it to the intro.
All right,
outro. Not intro, outro. Hey, give them everything.
Ladies, gentlemen, squatches, and big-breasted aliens.
Oh, Crescent.
Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode, and be sure to check out next week's episode, which I'll say later, too. If you would like to reach out to us and let us know your thoughts or opinions, you can do so by finding us on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, and on our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button for auto downloads to listen first thing every Monday morning. And thank you to all of our Patreon members that help keep this podcast a reality. We are grateful for your continued support. If you haven't yet become a Patreon member and would like to support us, head over to our Patreon. And if you're feeling a little classy, check out our merch selection on our website to visually show your support to your friends and family.
Beautiful stuff on there.
Yes, there is. You can drop us 5-star rating and write us a review. Tell us what you love and how you're enjoying the show. Share us on your socials and tell your cryptid loving friends and family about us. Subscribe, hit the bell, and like the videos on YouTube. This will all help us to grow and help you to enjoy even more great content.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Where is the button?
It's right there. I'm a little farther back. Join us next Monday for our next incredible episode. You may write us, rate us, review us, but remember to always stay curious, be vigilant, and don't touch my Sasquatch.
Don't do it. He's teaching his little hybrid furry guy how to breastfeed.
Oh.
From Crescent.
Ah.
Peace.
See ya.
Yeah.
Beautiful, really. It's close.
I tried to do it with your finger. I think I was too soon. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just going to gloss past that sentence.
David, he's hugging some shit.
Euphemisms spewing from your mouth. Das ist gut.
All right, I am ready. Let's hug some Davids.
All right. Wie geht's gut?
And get some Blackshires or whatever the hell yours is.
Berkshire.
Black. How we doing? How we doing? Bills are up 7-0.
He's a dildo Baggins. I hate that guy. He talks like Kermit the Frog.
The skies are blue.
I mean, that's Louis Armstrong. Go ahead.
Looks like you're making out with something. His account won't go this long. What was that?
Enough with the ears.
I was panicking. I'm like, I know what I want to say, but how do I want to say it in the shortest time possible?
I'm panicking,
Stall.
Anakin.
Stall. Oh, shit, it's almost over. He's looking at the time now.
Yeah. Our new series, Aliens Abducted My Asshole. So we can do one of two things, is the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
We can either A, wrap this up.
You actually were.
I do talk. I'm sorry, I do talk.
Nope.
Hey, question for you.
I got an answer.
How bad is this?
What does it look like in your camera if you can look?
Good.
Then you'll be good.
Cool, thanks. I'm really struggling here.
Isn't it nice you can actually look at the fucking slides with me now?
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't miss her. Hold on.
You missed her body. Yes, I think our best case scenario is do a second episode. We'll be like, hey, continue this on part 2 next week, where we pick up with the Berkshire UFO incident.
Okay, ready?
Yes, sir.